What if the family member you were told ran away returned decades later, with a journal of horrors and a plan for revenge? When a man claiming to be cousin Eli appears, the family must face the truth about what they did, and what's coming for them. Every family has a story they whisper about but never discuss openly. For the Harrisons, it was cousin Eli. The legend went that Eli, a quiet, awkward teen, had run away one stormy night in 1987. Some said he'd stolen money, others that he'd gotten mixed up with the wrong crowd. The adults would hush the kids if they asked too many questions, and Eli's name was never spoken at reunions. His room in Aunt June's house was left untouched for years, a shrine to a ghost. As the decades passed, Eli became a cautionary tale, a warning about what happens to kids who don't fit in. His photo, faded and sun-bleached, hung at the end of the family hallway, eyes forever averted. The family moved on, or pretended to. New generations grew up, and Eli's story faded into myth. But for Anna, Eli's cousin and childhood friend, the story never sat right. She remembered the way Eli flinched at loud voices, the bruises he tried to hide, the way he'd look at her with silent pleas for help. She'd always wondered what really happened that night. When a stranger appeared at the family's annual 4th of July barbecue, claiming to be Eli, Anna's world tilted. He was older, gaunt, with haunted eyes and a battered journal clutched in his hand. "I'm home," he said, voice rough. "And I have a story to tell." The family froze, forks halfway to mouths, as the man stood at the edge of the yard. Aunt June dropped her plate, her face draining of color. Uncle Ray muttered, "It can't be." Anna's heart pounded as she stepped forward. "Eli," she whispered. The man nodded, holding out the journal. "I can prove it." He recited details only Eli would know: Anna's secret treehouse, the scar on his knee from a childhood fall, the lullaby Aunt June used to sing. The family murmured, some skeptical, others shaken. Anna took the journal, her hands trembling. Inside, the pages were filled with cramped handwriting, sketches, and newspaper clippings. The entries began in 1987, the night Eli disappeared. "They said I ran away," the first page read. "But I was running from them." The journal chronicled years of abuse, neglect, and secrets, names, dates, and details that matched Anna's memories. The last entry was recent: "I'm coming home. They need to know what they did. And I need them to pay." The family's mood shifted from disbelief to fear. Anne realized Eli hadn't come for a reunion, he'd come for reckoning. Anna spent the night reading Eli's journal. The pages were a map of pain, beatings from Uncle Ray, cold indifference from Aunt June, bullying from older cousins. Eli wrote about nights spent locked in the basement, meals withheld as punishment, and the constant threat of being sent away. He described the night he ran away, how he'd been cornered after a family argument, how he'd fled into the woods, chased by Ray and another cousin, how he'd hidden for days before hitchhiking out of town. The journal detailed Eli's years on the run, shelters, odd jobs, nights sleeping under bridges. He wrote about the kindness of strangers, the cruelty of others, and the loneliness that gnawed at him. But the entries grew darker as Eli described returning to town, watching the family from afar, collecting evidence of their lies. He'd clipped obituaries, court records, and news stories about the Harrisons' rise in the community. "They built their lives on my silence," he wrote. "But silence is over." Anna's hands shook as she finished the journal. She realized Eli's return wasn't just about revenge, it was about forcing the family to face the truth they'd buried for decades. The next morning, Anna confronted Aunt June and Uncle Ray with the journal. June wept, insisting she'd done her best. Ray grew angry, denying everything. He was always trouble, Ray spat. He made up stories. He wanted attention. Other family members chimed in, some defending Eli, others siding with Ray. Eli stood in the doorway, silent and watchful. "You all knew," he said quietly. "You saw the bruises. You heard the screams. And you did nothing." The room fell silent. Anna spoke up, her voice trembling. "We can't pretend anymore. We have to face what happened." The family splintered, some stormed out, others begged Eli for forgiveness. Anna stayed by his side, determined to help him find justice. She called a family meeting, inviting everyone to hear Eli's story. "If we don't face the truth now," she said, "it will destroy us." At the family meeting, Eli read from his journal, his voice steady but raw. He named names, recounted abuses, and described the night he disappeared. Some family members sobbed, others sat in stony silence. Ray tried to interrupt, but Anna shut him down. "You had your chance to speak," she said. "Now it's Eli's turn." Eli revealed the evidence he'd gathered: photos, medical records, and statements from neighbors who'd witnessed the abuse. He played a recording of a conversation with a former teacher who'd tried to intervene, only to be threatened by Ray. The family's facade crumbled as the truth spilled out. Anna watched as the older generation shrank in shame, while the younger cousins looked at their parents with new eyes. Eli finished with a warning: "I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for justice. If you don't make this right, I will." Word of Eli's return spread quickly. The local paper ran a story about the prodigal cousin, and soon reporters were camped outside the Harrison home. Neighbors whispered, old friends reached out, and the family's reputation began to unravel. Anna received messages of support and threats from people on both sides. Eli met with a lawyer, determined to press charges against Ray and others who had abused him. The case made headlines, dividing the town. Some saw Eli as a hero, others as a troublemaker dredging up the past. Anna stood by him, testifying to what she'd witnessed as a child. The trial was painful, forcing the family to relive old wounds. But Eli refused to back down. "I lost my childhood," he told the court. "I won't lose my voice." The jury found Ray guilty of child abuse and perjury. Other family members faced consequences for their roles in the cover-up. The verdict brought relief, but also grief. The family was fractured, old alliances shattered. Aunt June moved away, unable to face the shame. Some cousins cut ties, blaming Anna and Eli for ruining the family. But others reached out, apologizing for their silence and offering support. Eli struggled with the aftermath. He attended therapy, trying to heal from years of trauma. Anna helped him find a place to live, and together they began to rebuild their relationship. They visited the old tree house, sharing memories of better times. "I wish I'd helped you," Anna said, tears in her eyes. Eli hugged her. "You're helping me now." The family's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that silence protects no one, and that the truth, no matter how painful, must be faced. With the trial behind them, Eli and Anna focused on healing. They started a support group for survivors of family abuse, offering a safe space for others to share their stories. Eli spoke at schools and community centers, warning against the dangers of silence and the importance of speaking up. Anna found purpose in advocacy, helping others navigate the legal system and find their voices. The cousins who supported them became like family, gathering for holidays and milestones. The Harrison name, once a symbol of respectability, now stood for resilience and truth. Eli published his journal, hoping to help others who had suffered in silence. The book became a bestseller, sparking conversations about abuse, forgiveness, and the power of truth. Years passed, and the family changed. The old house was sold, the treehouse rebuilt as a symbol of new beginnings. Anna married, and Eli became an uncle to her children. They celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and the anniversary of Eli's return, a day they called Truth Day. The family's wounds never fully healed, but they learned to live with their scars. They honored the past, but refused to be defined by it. Eli and Anna became pillars of the community, their story inspiring others to break the cycle of abuse and silence. The cousins who once whispered about Eli now spoke his name with pride. The family was smaller, but stronger, bound not by secrets, but by honesty and love. On the anniversary of his return, Eli sat in the rebuilt treehouse, writing the final entry in his journal. He reflected on the journey from pain to healing, from silence to truth. Anna joined him, her children playing below. "Do you regret coming back?" she asked. Eli shook his head. "No. I regret leaving. But I don't regret coming home." He handed Anna the journal. "This is for you. For all of us. So we never forget." As the sun set, Eli and Anna watched the sky, grateful for the second chance they'd been given. The cousin they didn't talk about was finally home, and the family was better for it. If you believe in the power of truth and breaking the cycle of silence, share this story with someone who needs hope. What would you do if a family member returned with a story that could change everything? Let us know in the comments below.